everybody. We're really excited to have everybody here for FriesenPress's webinar. And today we're going to be talking about book marketing. So we're just going to jump right in because we've got lots of content to go over today and I don't want to run out of time. So today we're going to be talking about what to cover in preparation for your promotions and what to do for your book during the process, before the process, and dig into some great avenues for creating demand and gaining visibility once you're published. So a little bit about me. I'm going to start right at the top and just let everyone know I do have a bit of a chronic respiratory issue. So I'm going to clear my throat a little bit and maybe cough here and there. I'm going to do my best to mute myself, but I apologize if that is distracting for anybody throughout. My name is Leanne Janzen, and I've been with FriesenPress now for over 4 years. And I started as a publishing specialist. So I worked one-on-one with authors, and I got to guide them through the process and help them coordinate their editing and cover design and layout. And I got to know authors really well. And one thing that I got to know was what authors know and what they don't know when they're coming into the publishing process. And so what I have been really passionate about the last few years, and a huge part of what my role is now, is I go into, me and my team, not just me and my team go into writing organizations and professional communities, and we educate writers and authors from an earlier time in their process to learn more about the process, to have education on what their options are, what your options are, and what things look like so that you're going into your journey more informed. I am also going to say off the top that I have my colleague Brian with me. He's got his camera off there, but he is here and he's going to be keeping an eye on the questions for me. So if you have questions along our journey today, pop them into the Q&A. He will kind of organize them, answer some as we go, and save some for me for any time we have at the end. So without further ado, we are going to be talking about marketing. So we're going to be talking about developing your marketing mindset, establishing your marketing foundation early, the features of a market-ready book. We're going to talk about building your author platform, as well as generating sales momentum, or as I like to call it, creating demand. So see, I'm going to do my best to mute. Here we've got a really great little slide on this slideshow on this slide here. All of these authors are FriesenPress authors who have once been right where you are, right in your shoes. And we're starting their journey fresh. So just like you have experienced or are currently experiencing, we believe that growth as a writer means establishing your marketing skills and learning how to improve it all the time. It all starts with developing the right mindset. And so that's where we're going to start today. So my colleague Brian is going to pop open a poll for you all. I want to know if you're looking forward to book marketing. So let me know in the vote there. Are you nervous? Are you excited? A mix of both. I want to know. We want to know. I hope you can see it. If you can't see it, pop something in the chat to Brian, but it is up there. It looks like we're getting some answers. So we'll give a second there for you guys to pop answers in. I'm so excited to talk to you about growth mindset and marketing and just publishing journeys. As you can tell today, and if you were here at our last month's webinar, I love talking about publishing and marketing and all the aspects along with that. So I am always thrilled to be here and answer your questions. Looks like we got most of the answers in, and over half of you are saying, yes, you're excited. So that is fantastic. I'm so excited to hear that. It is so nice to hear when authors are excited about it. Not as many of you, but still a solid quarter of you are not really sure. So hopefully after today, you get a little bit more of a yes or a no. And the no's, of course, that is completely understandable. It can be a daunting task. So first, we're gonna get going, and we're gonna first acknowledge the elephant in the room, and that's really, as I just said, self-promotion can feel like a daunting task. You're taking a leap from being a solitary author, so working and writing all on your own, into trying to market and promote your book in people's faces, getting in front of them. And that can be even anxiety producing for authors. And that's completely fine, completely normal. But it's first, we just first want to acknowledge it. The reality today, though, is that virtually every writer who publishes a book is expected to market their own work. Whether you're going to pursue self-publishing, or you've signed a traditional contract, or you're pursuing traditional avenues, marketing is still very much something that ends up on the author's plate, no matter what your book's topic or necessarily level of experience. There are traditional publishers. And when I talk about traditional publishers, again, just from the top here, I'm going to say I'm talking about the big guys. We have small and medium traditional publishers in Canada that operate slightly differently depending on the focus of their publisher and what they give to authors versus the big guys. So just keep that in mind too as we go through all of this, is that regardless of what route you're going to take, a lot of these expectations are going to be the same in every situation. So that's why we're here. We're here to talk about the challenges, and we're going to start with developing your marketing mindset. So if you've written a book or you're planning to write a book and you want people to read it, you're going to need to promote it to sell copies. It's really about connecting your hard work with your readers and your community and your audience. And promoting a book you've written is a really great opportunity. Your unique voice as a writer is powerful. And that's why it's such an asset to have you doing your own marketing and self-promotion, because you're going to have your unique way of approaching conversations and promotion and just talking about your book. When you're really passionate about something, it's going to come through in those conversations you're having. And so it's so important to jump in that way. And marketing isn't just for extroverts. In fact, I am slightly an introvert, and you can tell when I'm passionate about something, I can jump in and talk for miles and miles about it. And if you are introverted and introspective, it's likely to mean that you're a little bit more sensitive, you're a better listener, and you're going to be able to actively listen and answer questions for your readers and your audience more genuinely and with more thoughtfulness. And I think that that's really a superpower when you start talking about marketing. The best way to succeed in marketing your book is to be authentic. Your job isn't going to be to bury people in sales gimmicks or untruths. You want to be valuable. You want to provide real valuable information for them, and being authentic and yourself is going to gain trust with your listeners and your audience. And that's why people are so attracted to authenticity. And that's why it's really important to, if you're an introvert, dive into that aspect. If you're an extrovert, dive into that aspect. And so before you dive headfirst into the world of promotional buzzwords, let's try to remember that book marketing is something you get to do. And this is a very important differentiation than something that you have to do. If you've written a book and it's published and you have the opportunity to market it, it is something you get to do. It's not an add-on, another check mark on your list. You have that. It's a true opportunity. And by jumping into it, it shows such incredible courage. And it's really a leap that most people can only dream of. So really try to think of it as something you get to do, not something you have to. So first we're going to dive in. So establishing your marketing foundation. Any lasting structure, regardless of what we're looking at, buildings, businesses, everything, requires a solid foundation. So let's move on to establishing that marketing foundation. And by doing that, I'm going to dig into 4 key steps that all authors should be considering. And the great thing about these steps is that you can start actioning lots of them now. Even if your book is just an idea or you only have your first draft, you can start implementing these aspects now. So let's get started. First, know your audience. Your book's target audience is going to inform everything that you do. Everything from branding, marketing, publicity, from things like the fonts you choose and the social media platforms you're on. Your audience is going to define your trajectory in your marketing journey. Who are you writing for? You're going to want to ask yourself these questions. Who are you writing for? What problems are you helping your audience solve? That one's a little bit more for nonfiction. Who is interested in you reading your books? Is this going to be a book for kids, or is this going to be a book for professionals, or is this a book for, trauma survivors? Who is going to be interested in reading your book? What types of things would that person do in their free time? Where are they spending their time scrolling on social media? Is it Twitter? Not Twitter, X? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Where are they spending their time? What do they do for a living? Get inside the head of who's going to be reading your book and really think about that. It's going to help you really paint a picture. And like I said, it's going to help you decide and your designers decide what fonts and colors and platforms and how your back cover copy, so you're about the book, is written to be attractive to those readers. Your target audience is such a big piece of how your book comes together. So it's essential to identify that from the start. Knowing who is most likely to purchase your book is the most essential tool you can have. If you're writing something for the generic or the generic human or the general public, your potential audience is so vast. You want to narrow it down and sharpen your focus so that you can sharpen all of your marketing aspects and all of the details that go into your book to really speak to that audience. So think of your book as an entrepreneurial effort. Do some market research. Companies, small, large, medium, they all want to know everything about people who are going to be using their products. So just like that, you want to be doing that market research as well. And it might seem strange, especially because writers typically are artists. So it might seem strange to think of this as you go into it as a business. But it really is a business. And so honing in on your particular niche, it's going to be more potent for your audience, your potential readers, and it's so important to dive in and know who they are as early on in the process as you can. Next, we're going to talk about your USP, and I'm going to shorten that, but what it does mean is your unique selling proposition. So once you've determined your audience, you want to ask yourself, what will my audience gain from my book that they're not going to find somewhere else? To answer that question, it could be pretty difficult. It could be really difficult to answer, even just thinking about it now. What is unique about my book? What information are they going to get from me? What knowledge are they going to gain from reading my book that they're not getting elsewhere? Once you can answer that question, that is going to be your unique selling proposition or your USP. I know I already said I was abbreviating it. From here on out, I will. So your USP is as clear as you can be, compelling. It's a compelling reason why your book matters to your audience and why they should choose it over others. And identifying your USP is crucial from the start. It's going to give you a sharp, confident focus, and it's going to give you avenues to be able to attract your potential readers. So if you know what is unique about your book, it's going to be easy to position yourself in a place to start talking about that to attract people early on. So you want to find your why, and you're going to, and once you find that why, and once you find that unique, your USP, I'm not going to keep saying it, USP, it's going to open up so many opportunities for you to get in front of your target audience. So here's a really great example. We have Andy Weir. He self-published his title, The Martian, and his USP could be summed up as a scientifically accurate survival story that makes complex concepts accessible to everyday readers. It is short, it's powerful, and it goes deeper than just a simple summary or the plot, or deep into the plot or themes. And I really love this as a golden rule when you're looking for your USP, is if you can replace another book's title with your own, and your USP, your sentence still fits perfectly, that's not your USP. It means that your USP is not unique enough. You want to be able to say, this is unique about my book, and the other books that may be in this category, their USP doesn't fit with mine. You want to make it as unique as possible. Stake your reputation early. So alongside defining your USP, another powerful early marketing strategy is to build your reputation as a strong voice in your book genre's topic area. So building that voice early really helps create interest in your books months and years before it even launches. So social media is great for this, and 99% of those platforms are free. So it's a great place to start for that. Join groups and participate in discussions. Start a blog or a vlog, which for anyone who doesn't know what a vlog is a blog via video form. So you see lots of those on YouTube and Instagram Reels and things like that. It's gonna help you get into groups and communities online that you can monitor buzz with comparable titles, and you can start to network with individuals who share those interests and who are part of your social media platforms. And you're going to start, this is part of a later, where we're going to talk about later, is the buzz and networking and meeting people and talking. That's really part of early days of creating that demand. So you're going to start to build trust with your future audience, and it's going to help build that foundational road that will in turn then lead to book sales. So another way to consider developing a following pre-publication is by starting a newsletter. So one platform that many writers have gravitated towards for this is called Substack. So it's a newsletter platform designed for long form, direct communication. Readers can subscribe to hear from you directly. So you can share deeper insights, behind the scenes stories of what's going on. I always say, as you're going through the process as well, include your audience, do polls, ask questions about your book. It's going to make them feel involved. It's going to make them feel invested in your journey. And so a newsletter is a really great place to start growing your following, building that trust, start getting that engagement. And so if that's something, if building a newsletter might appeal to your target audience, I think that that's a really great avenue, and you should start looking into that as early as possible. And together, these tactics are going to complement each other. Social media amplifies your voice and expands your reach, while Substack is going to be more of a platform that deepens your connection. So when you use these together, they're going to be more consistent, and you're going to be able to position yourself as someone who's worth listening to. And as I said, building trust with your audience that will turn into book sales down the road. Drafting your book proposal. So one final tip for establishing your book marketing foundation is to start with a great proposal. Traditional publishers and agents won't even consider an author without a book proposal. So that's why so many writers agonize over getting it just right. So even if you're not going to be going down that traditional route, a book proposal can help you as an author, as a really powerful planning tool. And it's one that's often overlooked in the self-publishing world. So it's going to help you think about your book from the reader's perspective. Who are they? What do they need? How am I going to reach them? And so with this, the book proposal is going to help you with all of those previous aspects as well. So I'm going to have Brian pop over a book proposal template link, if I'm not mistaken, Brian, in the chat there for you. It's going to be a great tool for you to set a foundation. It's really great for you to share your book proposal too with the professionals you're working with, even if you don't go traditional. So I'm going to get Brian to pop linking that into the chat. And if you're watching the replay, we're going to include the link there and in the video description on YouTube as well. It's a really great free template, and it's going to be a helpful guide for you while going through the process. So look for that link, Brian, from Brian. Next up, we're going to talk about the features of a market-ready book. So your book, or if you're writing a series, your book series, it's the most important part of your marketing strategy. So before anyone even reads a single page of your book, they're going to make snap judgments. They're going to look at your title, your cover, your overall presentation of your material. And you need to remember that today's readers have so many options. You walk into a Chapters or a Barnes and Noble, or you're scrolling on Amazon looking for a book. There are so many options out there. So if your book isn't up to visual standards that these readers have come to expect over the years, they might look at the cover and move on. They might not even flip it over to the back to read what it's necessarily about. So you want to have a strong start and really establish these aspects early. So a market-ready book is going to bring together all of these aspects: logistical, creative, the promotional elements that you're putting into it, everything from professional editing to cover design, worldwide distribution. There's nothing that's going to undermine your credibility faster than a poorly crafted book that's going to fail what we like to call the I-PASS test. So if you're able to look on a shelf and hone in on a book, that's an I-PASS test. And you really want to pass that I-PASS test. So we're going to dig into these features, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information about them. So a well-crafted title and sometimes subtitle. So your title is the first impression of your book. It's often the most important marketing choice you're going to make. So it needs to be short, memorable, and capable of sparking a curiosity, while also resonating with your ideal reader and audience. And not to be overlooked, a strong subtitle can also add valuable context, clarity, or a hook that's going to deepen interest. I just combined two words: deepen interest, especially if it's nonfiction. So look at bestseller lists. Their titles tend to pop off of the cover. Even if you are just reading a list and you're not even looking at the book cover, the title is going to pop. So don't rely on instinct alone. Test. This is where you can start to come in early with your audience. Test combinations with your target audience on social media and in your newsletter. See what excites them. See what is going to resonate with that potential audience. And so a great example of a complementary title and subtitle is a really fabulous book that we published. Paul Alexander's 3 Minutes for a Dog is the title, and the subtitle, My Life in an Iron Lung. We published this title, and 3 minutes for a dog, curious, catching, my life in an iron lung. Straight to the point, you know what it's about. So the title is brief, it's curious, it's instantly memorable and draws you in. And that subtitle is providing clarity and context that brings them in even further. Next, you want to have a relevant professional book cover. And I cannot stress professional book cover enough. So despite the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, readers do judge books by their covers. If you're here today and you're a writer, you're very likely a reader as well. So you do know that. Whether it's on a shelf or it's on a thumbnail online, your book cover is your packaging and your branding all rolled into one. So it needs to clearly signal your genre, so readers are knowing what to expect while also being distinct enough to stand out in today's crowded market. That balance can be hard to achieve without expertise. And this is why it is so important to hire a professional designer. Whether you're going, a DIY route or you're working with a service provider, it is so important to work with a professional designer so that they understand industry standards, design principles, and designers are going to be more up to speed on current market trends as well. And all of those things are so essential for producing a cover that's going to attract and convince and sell. Moving on to back cover copy. You always want this to be compelling, always. So if your front matter, and this is always really important too, think about yourself going into a bookstore. If your front matter, if your title and your cover sparks that curiosity, readers are going to turn it over and read the back. So the back cover is going to be really what transforms curiosity into action and buying. So you want to speak directly to your ideal reader's interests. Keep it 250 words or less. And it needs to answer the fundamental question of what's in it for them. So when in doubt, go back to your USP and a tagline and about the book section, and even here advanced reader reviews on the back cover can all play a role. So think about that. You're about the book. Reader reviews. Do reviews before you get your book printed. And a quick tagline. Those are all going to be really great things for your back cover. You also want to make sure to be consistent with your front, that the back cover is professionally put together. Not only that text, not only that about the book section being professionally edited and curated and crafted for your audience, but also the design of it. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that front and back cover consistent as well. So moving on to professional editing. So behind every great author is a great editor. And I always like to say that editing is like boot camp for authors. So every time you go through a round of editing, it makes you a better writer. And a strong book is really the result of rigorous editing, multiple rounds. It goes beyond grammar and spelling. It really does. So platforms that will help you with grammar and spelling only are going to do so much. Professional editors, human beings, can help you refine your ideas, strengthen your structure, and polish your voice. they're going to look at every detail to ensure that your vision and your message are coming across as you intend it to. And the editor-writer dynamic is always something that's going to, like I said, make you a better writer. When we look at traditional publishing, manuscripts go through multiple rounds of editing. And it's for a reason. It's the difference between a book that feels amateur and one that feels worthy of a read. So self-publishing authors need to do what they can to meet that same standard. Readers are quick to spot errors, plot holes, clunky phrasing, and once they do, sometimes it really clicks with readers and it could start to diminish your credibility for future books. It could come with some negative reviews. And while in self-publishing, it is always said that the editing is optional. For a quality book, it is not optional. It is foundational. It is part of your foundation. I will tell you, however, that no book has 100% perfect editing. I read traditionally published books. I read self-published books all the time. And I spot errors and random spelling mistakes. We have to remember human editors, human writers, human errors. So to a certain extent, it's normal to see the odd word or the odd, thing. But when it's consistent, it is noticeable. And readers remember that. And now we're going to talk about quality of your print edition. So the physical quality of your book is going to reflect on you as an author. A flimsy, poorly bound edition, maybe you went to Staples, I don't know. It's going to cheapen your reader's experience, truthfully. And it can also undo, if you've done a lot of pre-work in building your audience and doing all of these things, and then you send your readers something that's put together really poorly, it can start to undo a lot of the relationship building. It can start to undo a lot of the pre-work that you put into getting this person to buy your book. So you want to make sure with your print editions that you're spending the time to source quality printers. You may only ever publish one book in your lifetime. And so you want to make sure it's a well-made print edition and it has the potential to last for years. So you need to find a printing partner that you can trust. Professional printing will always provide more durability, more quality checks, more global reach. And at FriesenPress, authors do have the opportunity, I'm going to plug us a little bit here too, do have access to Friesen's printing, which is Canada's largest independent printer. So worldwide print on demand is available with us, as well as the option to have really beautiful books printed for you and your audience. So you get to have options for both such professional quality and international availability. So, little plug. Now we're going to talk about author platform. So by now in your journey, we've set an early foundation. We have the rundown features of your market ready books, and you got to start working on your platform. An author platform represents your ability to connect with your potential readers, and your platform is going to be your collection of tools, channels, and strategies. And it's going to be part of your USP, and it's going to say to readers, I have a voice and it's worth hearing. So it's really your springboard. It's going to be what helps you build your momentum and grow. When you're first just starting out, your platform is likely to be fairly modest. Friends, family, immediate network, things like that. But your target audience is what you're looking for. And they're out there looking for you too. They're out there searching. So you want your platform to be focused on your USP and geared towards your audience's needs. Excuse me. So remember that you are looking for your target audience, but your readers are also out there looking for you. So you need to be findable. So remember that. And also keep in mind, your platform is never truly complete. Even the world's biggest and most successful authors, their platforms are in a constant state of flux. So keep that in mind. It's always evolving alongside their marketing strategy, alongside their influence, alongside books that are coming out as they come out. So, from their first book to their fifth book, their platforms are going to adjust. So just keep in mind, it's always fluctuating. Also pay attention to things on social media like algorithm changes and hashtag use and things like that. There's always going to be tips and tricks up there as well to help you find your audience and help your audience find you. So a great book. We've talked about in detail your book or your series being your foundation. So nothing has more impact on your author brand or your identity, your commercial identity, I should say, not your personal identity, than the book itself. It's going to communicate what you stand for and what sets you apart from other writers. No matter your brand direction, consistency in visuals and language is key. It's going to help reinforce your aim in every post, in every newsletter, in every reel or TikTok video or tweet. Consistency in your visuals and your language is going to reinforce your visibility. A business plan. Again, I know sometimes it can be daunting to think of your writing as a business plan, but we're diving in. Your platform needs direction. And so that's where your business plan comes in. So a solid plan is going to define clear goals for your platform. How you're going to promote your book and yourself. It's going to help you with growth, which is going to be your next challenge, is growth. It's going to scale your platform, match your ambitions. And that could mean speaking at conferences, landing book club picks. We see those all the time, sometimes with celebrities and sometimes with bookstore owners. They pick books for book clubs and reading, launching a Patreon, guest starring on podcasts, or going into reading communities and just talking about your book. So by honing your goals early, it's going to help you decide what your next steps are and evolve your platform with as much direct purpose as you can. An author website is, in my opinion, if you are wanting to, and all of you I would assume are wanting to because you're all here today or you're watching, if you're wanting to grow and sell your book and be a presence and have continued growth, a website is a non-negotiable. It is the home base of your presence. It is an absolute must-have. It's going to communicate that USP. You can use that to share relevant news or events. And most importantly, that is where a lot of your readers are going to be able to search you by name or search you by book title and find links with where to buy your book, which is absolutely important. So social media activity is going to drive people. The goal is for it to drive people to your site where your readers can buy your book, sign up for updates, explore information about you, find out about you. Do you have more books? Do you have something coming soon? Are you going to be an event in their area? That's where they're going to find out all this information. So it's essential. It's also a really great and powerful tool for growing your email list and letting you speak directly to your readers. And on the technical side here, Your site also is going to strengthen your SEO, which is your search engine visibility. It's going to link your name or your pen name with your book, and it's going to make you easier to find online. So a website is essential. Your social media presence. Your social media should extend the look and feel of your website. So this consistency is going to help, again, build your credibility, your professionalism, but also make your visibility stronger, because people will get used to seeing the same branding, the same colors, the same graphics. You want to make sure that it's consistent. So use it to network with your readers, social media, peers, influencers, and use it, like we've already talked about, to position yourself as a trusted voice in your genre or niche area. And so one tip we also have for you there is keep your author accounts or your book accounts separate from your personal ones. You want to maintain a clear professional identity. So you also don't want to have yourself run into a situation where you've created this most amazing book and you've decided to use all of your personal social media platforms that you've been using since you were perhaps in high school. And someone can backtrack and find a picture of you that maybe you don't want your readers to see. So make sure you're keeping those things separate, but also don't post things online that you don't want your readers to see at all. But make sure those identities are separate for your audience, okay? And engage authentically, live your values. But remember that you're always representing yourself as an author. So this comes back to, don't post things online if you don't want your readers to see them. So everyone has some unique aspect to them that can help your readers form an impression about who you are before they even pick up a book. Quality promotional materials. I love a good promotional material. Let me tell you, digital tools right now dominate the industry, but physical leave behinds still carry a really big weight, especially if you're at readings, signings, conferences. I will tell you, I recently attended a conference in Alberta, and I had a table really close to mine, and I loved this author's setup. I loved the books. I wanted to buy every single one that she had there, but I had traveled and did not have room in my suitcase to bring those books home. So she said, no problem whatsoever, handed me a bookmark. I took that bookmark home. I found her online and I ordered every single one of her books. So the key is to have those things, because there are going to be situations where someone's traveling and they can't carry an 800-pound carry-on of books with them while they're going, or they want to come back to you later, or there's so many opportunities there for even people to, come across a bookmark or a business card or something that you gave to them at a conference down the road and go, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder, bookmark. So it keeps you top of mind. It really does. And I'm proof that they work. So make sure that you put time and effort into having those available for any public events that you're doing. Business cards can have your contact information, your social media handles. It's going to make it easy for people to find you, whether that's your readers or whether that's somebody who maybe wants to invite you to come on their podcast. Business cards are essential. Again, it can seem daunting that this is a business, especially if you're an artist. But if you want to sell books, we got to think of it a little bit like a business. And I don't want to run out of time, so we're going to keep going. Generating sales momentum. So with all your marketing assets coming together, we're going to talk a little bit about generating some sales momentum and creating demand for your book. So creating demand is getting in front of your audience. So, but which audience? Where are they? What do you say? What do you do? When you have that detailed plan that we talked about early on, when you know your USP, when you've got all of those things in place, you can put your plan in full motion to generate that momentum. So TV, radio, podcasts, traditional and digital media outlets are powerful ways to share your story. Local TV and radio stations are often eager to feature hometown authors, and they love to highlight community voices that resonate with their audience as well. Niche podcasts are really great because you can come on, you can talk about your book. Lots of times those listeners are really engaged and already reading books as well that are in your genre. Ask for reviews. Ask for reviews on Amazon, Goodreads. There's social proof that your book lives up to the expectations you've set for it. And, you know, having professional reviews, they're going to help enhance your credibility, your visibility, often influence buyers' decisions with a good review. So encourage those reviews as early in the process as you can as well. Blog. I love blogging. I think blogging is a great way. Talk about your process, talk about your challenges, talk about what's going on, and really hone into that. So I love that. I love the blogging. I love the being on social media and creating that presence. And remember that social media isn't about posting everywhere. It's about showing up consistently where your readers are. So consider your target audience, find the platform, things we've already kind of covered today, and target where they spend their time online. So for instance, romantasy readers, I read a lot of romantasy, so I can attest to this. They might be on Book Talk. They are. Romance readers, Book Talk. Well, business audience might be leaned more towards LinkedIn or X. So you need to share your updates, behind the scenes glimpses, poll your audience, ask them for their input, and really build that community and the interaction with your potential readers. Being consistent and authentic is going to keep you visible and engaged with your audience. And most importantly, tell them where to buy your book. You want to generate that the sales momentum. And then finally here, I just wanted to do a quick breakdown before we run into questions. There is a difference between availability and demand. So creating demand, that's what we've just talked about. It's reaching your target audience. It's engaging with them. It's being consistent. It's having books on hand. It's linking to your website, linking to where they can purchase your book. It's being active in social media. It's your newsletters. Creating demand is all of that put together. Availability is only availability. So keep in mind when you're talking to your publishing partners that when your book is being made available somewhere, that's not going to guarantee you purchases. It means that your book is available to purchase. So you want to find partners that are going to help you with wide availability, so global availability, where there's going to be more opportunity for your audience to find you, but your audience isn't just going to find you. You have to create that demand. And yeah, so there we go. And questions. I'm going to take down the question screen. Before I do really quick, I'm just going to pop my information up there, you guys. Write it down, screenshot it, whatever you got to do there so that you can connect with me and I can connect you with me or one of my team after today. So that's there. And I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to take some questions.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Leanne. It's a ton of content. There's a lot to talk about.
I could have kept talking.
Yeah. No kidding. We could be here all day talking about marketing. There's truly so much to talk about, especially for novices. And you're all taking the first step here today. So congratulations to you. Really appreciate all the questions you've been asking here. And we have a few with the balance of our time. So let's get into it. And one question I really liked from Tom was, how would I know what social media my audience uses? Is there data on what percentage of wine drinkers use Blue Sky? Great example.
Can you repeat that? What percentage of wine drinkers what?
Use Blue Sky, the new kind of version of Twitter/X.
Oh, I'm behind. So I couldn't tell you that really specifically for wine drinkers, but finding where your target audience is really looking at who are you selling your book to. So what is your book about? Are you writing a memoir geared towards trauma survivors? What age demographic do you think that is going to be most? Probably older generations. Older generations, and I'm aging myself here, you're going to find those people on Facebook. Like, you have to think of what platforms they're on, where they're wasting their time scrolling. That's where you're going to find them. So if you're YA or romantasy, they're going to be on newer platforms. That's where you're going to find your readers. And this is a really interesting and something that a lot of people don't think about. So I'm going to say it is, if you're writing a children's book, you're not actually selling to the child. So keep that in mind. When you're writing a kid's book, you're selling to the parent. The parent is buying that book for their children. So school readings, school libraries, those are all really important. They might hear you read your book and say, Mom, I want to go and I want to the store and I want to buy this book. But the online audience that you're appealing to is parents, not kids. So you have to figure out what age group are the kids you're targeting in your kid's book, and how old-ish are those parents going to be, and where am I going to find those parents? So a lot of thought can go into that, but it's really about finding out who the people are that are buying your book and figuring out what platform they're going to be on. So taking a look at age demographics is a really big and important starting point, because the age demographic is going to be pretty clear. I can tell you, as someone who uses Facebook a lot, I'm not hipping with it with the other ones, right? I'm on them, but I'm not on them wasting my time like I would be on Facebook, which isn't as popular. I have a teenager who doesn't have Facebook and has no interest in it. So you just really got to think about that.
Yeah, and Tom, as the marketing manager for FriesenPress, I can chime in a little bit on this too. And this applies to kind of everyone, not just wine drinkers using Blue Sky. If you kind of want to validate what your readers use, you can ask them. I think that's kind of an underrated thing that a lot of authors can do and maybe don't necessarily. And if you have access to your audience, sending out a little survey, that can be something that you really get a lot of intel from. You can also validate that by looking up groups on Facebook, for example, a place that has kind of niche communities. Reddit might be one that surprises you. And if you consider yourself as a member of your book's target audience, your opinion is valid too. So something to keep in mind. Those are some threads to pull on. And I'll kind of weave that into a question from France about marketing research. Other than viewing in-store, online, and publisher lists, how does one do independent quality market research? There are places like the U.S. Census Bureau, StatsCan, France, that would tell you some of that. But and it's again that kind of thing of asking. You can kind of find this stuff out if you create a survey for your audience. It's kind of an underrated thing. We do it here at FriesenPress too. So we're just like you. We're marketing our business as well. For you, it's a book. For us, it's a publishing services company. So definitely a worthwhile endeavor if you're interested in getting more quantitative information about this sort of world that we're part of and talking about.
Yes, there's a lot. I will say there's a lot of power in the ask. Absolutely.
Mhm. And I'm not going to read the name of this person for reasons that will become apparent for this next question. How can I write a book under a pen name and promote it as such?
Yeah. And so we work with lots of authors who write under pen names. And so it's not tricky to do. You really you can create your pen name and you can have everything attributed to your book on a commercial level attributed to that pen name. So your social media platforms, your listings online can all have your pen name attributed to them. Your professional aspects, however, so if you're looking at, if you're looking at business ownership or you're looking at royalties and things like that, you will have to use your legal name to be able to get those things. But it's really quite simple to create a pen name and have it completely separated from your existing personal social media platforms in a way that people won't track it back to you. So create your pen name. It can be really as simple as that. Create your pen name and start to set up your platforms with that pen name. Have separate logins from your personal information, from your personal accounts, all that kind of stuff. And then when you get to the publishing aspect, make sure that your book cover shows your pen name, that your listings have your pen name and not your real name associated with them. So when I say with your listings, what I mean is your book's metadata. So the data that retailers are going to pull from the distributor, you can have your pen name in there and not have your real name anywhere on there.
Yeah, awesome. And it's kind of that balance of we talk about being authentic, but how do you be authentic when you are intentionally sort of having that mystique? But there are definitely ways to do it. It's a great question though, and really appreciate you asking that.
And I would say too that depending on why you're using pen names, some people use a pen name because their name is really common. Some people use a pen name because they don't want people to know who they are. So there's different reasons to use a pen name. And I think that depending on your reason, that could also affect how you set up your social media platforms, how you do what you do. So, and in those two situations, I'd have different advice, but you can still be authentic behind your pen name. And if you're introverted, in some cases, you might find it easier to be authentic behind your pen name than your real name. So think about it that way too.
100%. Have a question here from Ashish, and they ask, what if I'm writing a series of children's books? They say they've completed the first and are working on the second, where each book is, I think, under 25 pages, not a novel or something elaborate. Is marketing each book worth it? Or I think the other side is, do you want to focus on the series overall?
Right. So you want to focus on your series, but you want to market each book as they come out. So some authors will have books come out, a couple months apart, build momentum in between. Some want to get them all done and juicy and pop them all out at the same time. And so depending what your goals are, those both might be realistic situations for you. And so if you're writing a kid's book and it's a series, you definitely want to market the series. So you want to have a website that reflects the series as a whole, but you will want to do focused marketing on each title as they come out. And what I really love seeing as a reader is when a second or a third or a fourth book comes out and it has sections at the front that, say praise for book one. So you can use reviews from book one and book two in your subsequent books to build that momentum and help generate sales and create that demand as you keep going as well. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, well, that is our time for today, folks. I know we have a lot of great questions here that we didn't get to, and I do apologize for that. I'm copying them frantically here so we can um, follow up with you. We can have someone on our team reach out and answer your questions, so you're not left wondering or waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, wondering what the answer is to your question. We're going to answer that for you. Um, Thank you again for everyone who showed up and was so engaged with this topic. It's not an easy thing for a lot of authors. And I think the earlier, especially if you're in that writing stage, the earlier you start thinking about it, the better you're going to be down the road.
Absolutely.
And I saw a number of questions still about the book proposal, and that will be, wasn't able to drop it in the chat, unfortunately, but we will be sending it out
Oh,
with the replay tomorrow. So look for that in your inbox, and you can download that. And we're huge fans of it. Um, yeah, not to steal the spotlight too much here from Leanne, but
fine. It's
it's something
fine.
I'm a huge proponent of as a focusing tool that helps you ask all these really important questions. And especially if you haven't started writing yet, it really kind of gets you thinking about marketing in a way that is still aligned with the writing of the book. So, really huge fan of that. And yeah, that's the end of my spiel there.
Yeah, no, that is it, it's a great tool. And we use it and we give it out to writers all of the time. It's a really great tool to start really honing in your focus and planning your trajectory, because every single one of you who's here or watching the replay is going to have a slightly different journey or a completely different journey. No one author's journey is exactly the same. And so, and no two authors are going to have the exact same goals and the exact same thing. So it's so nice to be able to hone in your trajectory and really focus on it.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong. Just always bringing it back to the target audience and who your readers are. That's the big headline from our presentation here today. Thank you once again for being here. We'll get you out of here so you can get on with your days, and we hope to see you at our next webinar soon.
Thank you all.
Thanks so much. Take care.